This is the Hoops 8 Tournament Preview Show with Sports Director Travis Lee on Channel 8 WMTW.
Back, some of the top individual efforts of the year on the girls' side. Anna Turgeon put up 39 against Falmouth. Angel Huntsman filling the stat sheet, 13 points, 11 assists, 12 steals, a triple-double against St. Dom's. Lizzie Gruber of Gardner versus Nokomis, 25 points, 22 rebounds. Valley's Madeline Hill doing it all against Pine Tree, 24 points, 10 boards, 7 assists. Some of the top individual efforts from this past regular season. Now, it was in the early 1980s. The Portland Expo was in disrepair and under consideration to be sold or razed. Thanks to James Banks' efforts, the building was saved and rehabbed and now carries his name, the James Banks Exposition Building. Memories of his father's commitment to the Expo are vivid for Doug Banks when he walks the court at the building. Little did his dad know when he saved this place that his son could be in the spotlight here come tournament time. Doug Banks is the Lake Region girls coach, and his Lakers, with a prelim win, would take the floor here. When his players found out the connection, they started asking him some questions.
The girls started asking, about the name. How'd your dad's name get on the building? Some of them are like, Coach, we're gonna get one for you in this building. So, yeah, it's been fun. The girls have learned a lot about the history of this building just by asking questions.
All right, Lake Region, one of several schools with a goal of preventing Oceanside from winning the B-South tournament for a second straight year. Melissa Mayo is a floor general and elevates the play of all her Lake Region teammates. Her and Ava Smith give the Lakers a top-scoring tandem. After losing their first 3 games, Madomic Valley won 12 of 15 to finish the year. Wells' only 2 losses came to Class A schools. The Warriors rely heavily on underclassmen, but Marin Maxon can take over a game. Spruce Mountain can boast one of the best guard sets around. It's a junior-heavy team that has played together forever. Jaden Pingree and Olivia Mastine combined for 31 points a game. Defending state champ Oceanside has an elite inside-outside combo in Audrey Mackey and Bailey Breen. The Mariners have run 51 straight wins together dating back to the pandemic season and score almost 70 points a game. All right, an update. Lake Region does not have to play a prelim. I think the heel points are still updating as we have started the show here. They might be updating through Monday, but Lake Region a 5 seed, so Coach Banks gets to go to the Expo floor straight away. Michael Hoffer, the forecaster, rejoins me now as we start to look at the Class B South Girls Tournament. Question coming into this, Oceanside has been rolling. Have they been tested? They still have probably the 2 best players in the tournament on their side, though.
Yeah, I mean, we all expected coming into the year that it was Oceanside's to lose, right? I mean, they're the prohibitive favorite. They were absolutely dominant last year, and they're going to be tough to dethrone. But, a team that really intrigues me is Wells, Travis. I mean, remember going into the year, they've had a great couple-year run, but they graduated Grace Ramsdell. Don Abbott stepped down as coach. A team that people didn't really know a lot about, and here they are having a typical Wells-like season where they won a lot of games and they're a high seed again. So I think that you're going to have to keep a serious eye on them. They got upset by York in last year's semifinals when everyone thought they were going to go through and win it again. So maybe Wells is the team that can give Oceanside the biggest test. Spruce Mountain, of course, very talented too. The B-South tournament is often very, you get some surprises. And if Oceanside doesn't get through, that would be a huge surprise.
And I think part of that is that the time that they play. It's a Saturday morning matchup that you get for these B-South girls. You got schools coming from all over. You just never know. But they're playing in the Mountain Valley Conference Championship right now. But Spruce Mountain is a team that they play bigger than they are. The Pingree sisters can really get after it. They play some great defense, and that's a team that if anyone has a real shot like Wells to knock off Oceanside, they're up there. But you look at Lake Region, they can shoot, and a lot of other teams
always do.
On a good shooting night, you never know with high school basketball. All right, thank you, Michael. Now, a reminder for the best in tournament coverage. As we go throughout the tournament, join us at 11 o'clock every night of the tournament for all the recaps and storylines from the prelims to the state finals. Hoops 8 only on WMTW. Now, having a sibling who is a basketball player provides a bit of an advantage, There's always someone to play one-on-one or rebound for you. Sons of a college basketball player, the Galley twins of Oceanside have put the Mariners on course to go deep into the tournament. Carter and Cohen Galley are on the same page on the court, but the Twins will tell you their games are far from identical.
I guess we play a little different. He's probably a little better shooter right now. He's more of a point guard. I'm a little better of a defender. I'm passes a little more. I'm just more of a shooter, and I'm more of a drive and kick. We complement each other very well, though.
The guards from Owl's Head don't use their appearances for classroom shenanigans, but they have noticed times when defenders struggle to tell them apart.
Sometimes they mix up like who they're guarding, and one of us will be left wide open and get an easy shot off.
Or one of us will be open, the other will have two on them, and then they'll figure it out eventually.
Sometimes they both run to my brother, and then I'll be wide open, or vice versa.
Oceanside took a young team to the Expo a year ago and lost to Yarmouth. This year, their only loss is to Winslow, and they hope those experiences will make a difference come tournament time.
I think we have what it takes to win a state championship. Just that early loss really helped propel us and motivate us. We don't want that to happen again, and we just want to finish the season with one loss.
We'll talk about two guys that you don't want to leave open, the Galley twins getting it done for Oceanside. Now, when they play a lot of teams in the North, 3 teams had at least 16 wins to finish the season, including an unbeaten Ellsworth team that's looking to get back to the state final, where they had a real chance to win a state championship last year before Yarmouth had that epic comeback. Winslow, led by the duo of Jason Reynolds and Andrew Poulin, won 17 games, and Old Town went 16-2 as well. Now in the South, Yarmouth is the defending B champ, and they have reloaded, finishing as the number 2 seed. There was a great balance amongst the 3 conferences to make the playoffs this year, as 4 KVAC teams, 4 Western Maine Conference teams, and 2 Mountain Valley Conference teams comprising the B South field. Gabe Hager gives Lincoln Academy a scorer that can carry a team. Injuries have sidetracked York, but Derek Parsons has stepped up the scoring, and Jake Fogg brings dependability at the guard spot. Madomic had an 11-game win streak in the middle of the year, but went 3-3 to end the season. Corey Donlin gives the Panthers a reliable weapon on offense. Spruce Mountain's defensive versatility is a strength. The Phoenix play bigger than their size, and Ian York has stepped up offensively in big games. Yarmouth is athletic, and fewer players have turned it on in the second half, like deep threat Stevie Walsh. Oceanside isn't afraid to run and gun. They score 80 a game. The Mariners average 13 steals a game and have 4 players who scored double digits this year, led by Carter Galley's 23 a game. All right, Michael Hoffer rejoins me, and this is one of the funner ones to prognosticate.
I think so, and I mean, certainly Oceanside, they've had a great year. They deserve a lot of attention as the 1 seed, but how far has this Yarmouth team come just in the last month or so, Travis? I mean, they were 4-4 in the middle of the season. They graduated, 2 huge parts of their championship team last year. Peter Cy Hodges is now at Bates, Matty Waldner. Matt Cotreau has come up and stepped up big for Yarmouth, kind of taking over in that point guard role. Evan Ham, with his length, his ability to really dominate on both ends of the floor. And then, of course, you have Stevie Wonder himself, Stevie Walsh, who all he did last year was hit the biggest shot in the history of the Yarmouth program to send that state game against Ellsworth into overtime. So they are peaking at the right time. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and they might have a really tough semifinal if they get there against the Spruce Mountain team that felt like they should have beaten Yarmouth a little over a week ago down here. That game was anyone's game late in the 4th quarter. Yarmouth came on and won that game, but if they meet again in the semis, I know Coach Bessie really would love another shot at the Clippers at the Expo.
Absolutely. Timler and Towers give a physical presence to that Spruce Mountain team that, they're itching to get a W down here, and this might be the team that'll get it done. You got another McClure and Miranda Cook, and Lake Region, a team that kind of snuck its way in. Look out for them. They, I think, have been a sleeping giant this year. All right, tournament gets underway, 4 o'clock at the Expo. Now, when we come back, he was the buzz of last year's tournament. Cooper Flagg, what's he up to this year? Well, his star is still shining bright. We'll catch up with him next on the Tournament Preview Show.